Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Warframe, or back to Warframe, depending on whether or not you've been doing Warframe around the channel with me. A lot of people have been. In this episode, we're going to be looking at how to farm sun tokens. Now, sun tokens are required for some of the ranking up the Entrati standing in the Cambion Drift, but also you're going to need 10 for each of the pets that are available here to guild them so that you can actually get affinity for them and make them a bit stronger. There are 6 in total, which means you're going to need at least about 60 just for the pets. I think you need like 10 or maybe even 15 for the Entrati stand. I can't remember exactly how many we've used now. Either way, I'm going to go through everything. The back end of this video is going to have a fast way, or at least a fast way that I've found to get them farmed up. But we are going to go through the entire process over the course of this video. So feel free to skip ahead if that's if that's what you're here for. Just because I think there is a more convenient way than actually capturing, or should I say just capturing animals for the tokens. So basics then. First things first, you're going to want to come to this guy. Obviously the bare minimum thing that you need is the trank rifle. Make sure you get this. This costs 500 standing. You're going to want each of the lures. You don't want to get to one of the points where you can actually lure these out and then not have the correct lure. That's just going to be annoying for you. You can bring these along to taste the pheromones, which help you attract rarer variants of the creatures. The only real ones that I'd recommend are the vulpaphyla and the predasite ones, because that's just going to make it a little bit easier for you to find the different variants that you're going to want for your pets. There's 3 of each. I'll show you each of them once we get to the point where we're actually looking at creating creatures. But for now, just make sure you bring all this along. And before you head on out, make sure that you have the trank rifle in your gear wheel. That's just here. That's where I like to keep it. Got all sorts of stuff in here now, look. So just make sure that's equipped there. The rest of the stuff kind of gets automatically equipped with the trank rifle for you to use whilst you're out there. I'm taking Ivara out because it can make some things more convenient. I don't think she's by any means required. In fact, depending on kind of your experience out in the Cambion Drift, maybe she's not perfect. A damaging Warframe or even an armored Warframe like Rhino can be good out here, just because enemies can get on your nerves a little bit, and it's kind of frustrating because you do actually need them to be around to do everything that you need to do. Now, I may end up skipping around a little bit out here. I apologise for that now, just because there's no guarantee as to what's going to spawn where. But basically, once you get out here, the first thing you want to do, whip out your trank rifle, and you'll see where the points are that you can find all of the different creatures that have, let's call them spawn points, right? So each of those, let's call them waypoints on the map there, signifies a place where we can go and effectively guarantee ourselves an encounter with a creature. Now, you don't necessarily need to go to those to find an encounter. You can also find them randomly as you look around the Cambion Drift. I found the slower that you move around the edges, the more likely you are to get an encounter. It seems like there's like a set amount, or once you've kind of gone past each area and checked it, you're not going to get extra ones spawn there, so they don't spawn in like enemies, for example. But having something that displays enemies on the map can be an advantage, because it'll show you where there are enemies. Okay then, so, sorry for the skip ahead. It's probably going to be pretty crude. Just because, you know, if there's something that I just feel like we need to cut out, then I'm going to cut it out. So we've skipped ahead, and we are at a predasite trail. I'm not going to show you guys like kind of hunting down things like the cryptolex and stuff. You guys can hunt those down yourself if that's something that you want. So once you get to one of these trails, then just press X on it, and we're going to follow the trail. These can be pretty hard to follow. Just be aware of that. And if you do see enemies, try not to turn it into an encounter until you're ready for it. I'm going to try to, what's the word? I'm going to try to show you how to use them properly, if we can, with this. Right, so we're going to follow the trail. They were like a remains thing. So ideally we want to be here, and for there to be some infested around us, which I don't think there is. So it's going to be a predasite, right? So we're going to change to the predasite here. At this point, then, if you bought a long bait because you wanted to try and get some of the rarer ones, use the bait. Hold up. Like so. And then we are going to make a noise. Hopefully this thing's close enough. There we go, got a noise back.
That sounds distinctly like a predasite.
Then obviously in the second one, you do this, and then move it up. Now I don't know what the different people's controls is going to be. It's the trigger to make the noise, and then it's the analog stick to make that go up and down. I think it's the mouse on the PC.
Neither one of them good.
So once it's on its way, the predasites are actually pretty reliable for coming. The vulpaphyla are much more likely to flee. So as you can see, it's approaching us at this point. Most of them do come towards you. So we're going to go ahead, fill it with tranquilizers.
What a rare and unexpected find.
Now then,
Judging by its size,
look at it. It is not glowing. Okay? So if I capture this one now, it's going to capture the predasite and it's going to give me the tag for it. It does have a limited amount of time for us to be able to claim the tag on it. And what you actually need to do is get an infested enemy to attack it, and that will... Oh, there's nothing. See again, there's nothing here for me to get to attack it. Look. So I'm going to claim this. But if you've got infestors around, get them to attack it, and they will make it glow gold, and that will turn it into a weakened predasite. And that is the state that you need it to be in to be able to turn it into a pet. Obviously, whenever you see these, make sure you claim these because these are easy. See, there's an enemy right there. We could have had that. Look, damn it. Probably could have summoned that with the Rubico. Oh, it's gone. Too far away. Look, see, this can be a pretty big problem, and is one of the things that makes it very difficult to get these tags. Right, I'm going to go ahead and claim these because you should. Let's get these out here. No, I'm being attacked now. Great. It got me in the thing. If one of these gets on your head, good way to get them off. Get into operator mode. Blast it off. Works pretty well for me. So I'm going to try and skip forward, see if we can find another one. Just to show you guys the glow. So hopefully I'll catch you guys in a second for that. Okay then, so as if on cue, we have here a predasite that is already fighting with some infested. So I'm not going to wait too long. It's already weakened, you can see in its title. So we're going to go ahead, put some tranquilizers into it. Ideally we want this to be asleep before joining the fight. And then we can go ahead, get the Rubico out, finish these off. Where are we? There we go, get you down. Otherwise it'll tunnel away and you won't be able to catch it. But as you can see now, this one is glowing gold for us. So I'll go ahead and capture this one. And this one is a weakened predasite. Now, the level of the capture, so the fact that's a bad capture, doesn't matter. You still get the tag, and you're still able to turn that into a pet. Now, the rough part of this is you are going to need to catch, obviously manually, all 6 of the pets that you want to catch. And then you're going to need to catch enough to be able to get the sun tokens. So I'm going to skip back to sun now. I've shown you guys how to catch one, the difference between weakened and non-weakened. And so now we can look at how we can actually start getting the sun tokens. So I'll catch you back in the necrolisc. Okay then, so we are back at sun. The hard bit has been done. A bit of a tip. If you are looking for a specific pet, so most notably for me, it was the Crescent Vulpaphyla, which I had trouble finding. A good idea, something that you can do if you're in a clan, is you can have friends all have separate instances of the Cambion Drift. And then if you're all looking, let's say you're all looking for the Crescent Vulpaphyla like I was, if you've got 4 of you doing it, and then one of you finds it, you can all be invited to the same instance. So obviously, as long as you're quick, you can directly invite someone into your instance and catch it together pretty easily that way. So you can effectively search the drift 4 times in the time it takes to search it once between all of you. So just bear that in mind. Obviously, I also think it seems like if there's more players out there searching, more stuff seems to spawn as well. I haven't got any proof of this. It's just kind of how it felt when me and one of the guys in the clan were doing it. Either way, once you've got yourself some catches, go over to Kemeros, right? So the most basic way that you can get sun tokens is trading your tags in directly for
inside my
his tokens.
mother's
I can obviously get 3 right here. Now this, as you can see, is generally going to take forever. Like, that is 5 Pharaoh predasites, which is one of the rarest ones, right, for 3. Or it's like pairs of stuff, which is, I just think it's obscene. I do think it's obscene.
Travel safe.
So let's talk about the better way, in my opinion. So we're into the best way to take sun tokens at this point. But effectively, if like me, you've been out there lots of times catching all of this, and you can see how many I've caught, look, and how few sun tokens I'm on right now. Okay, so I think the better way is to actually create yourself a predasite.
Good.
Also, I don't have all the parts right now. But create yourself a predasite, level it up, and then go ahead and turn it in.
It came from the Cambion.
Right, so I actually have
Maybe
a spare
it's time
one
to let it go back home.
right here,
Never
look.
to return to your side.
I'm going to give him that for 10 sun tokens, which is all good, because I already had it in here spare. And the best thing about doing it that way, in my opinion, is you can just equip the pet, let it level up to...
Sorry.
I haven't maximum go to the last one. I'm going to have all 6 soon. Is you can attach that pet to yourself, and you can level up anything else. You can go farming stuff, and then once it hits rank 30, come back here, claim yourself 10 sun tokens, and rinse and repeat. Because obviously we're trying to be in depth with this. Obviously, for those of you that want to know how to craft these, it is as simple as you guys just saw. You put all the parts in, like so. The best thing about this, in my opinion, is these don't seem to be all that relative to stats. They're more relative to the way the predasite looks, which is quite nice. So its abilities and stats relative to the actual predasite that you're going to be using. All this does is gives it a single resistance, and a single resistance when there's like loads of different types of enemies to face. I don't think it's all that important to care about. And this just gives it a starting polarity, which you can form her off anyway. So most of the stuff to do with these guys is old-fashioned, which is great. Quite like that. So like I say, basically what I would do, and it's what I have done for most of mine. I am obviously now over the 60 that I needed to get all of my pets gilded, is basically catch a load of vulpaphyla and predasites. And I wouldn't even bother with anything else. Just catch vulpaphyla and predasites. They're easier targets to hit because they're bigger, and you're going to want to turn them into pets anyway. And if you just target those, you'll naturally get them weakened, which means you'll have plenty for your pets. And then once you have, what, 12 captures? Like, so once you have one of each and 6 spares, just create yourself the 6 spares, level them all up, and then sell them for the sun tokens. And honestly, I know this has been a long video. I think that is the best way to get the sun tokens. So, with that being said, I don't think I need to take you guys like through Hydra and all the best places to level all that good stuff. I mean, I leveled most of mine farming for resources because I was like, well, I need some polar bundles for the clan. So, yeah, that is pretty much it. Those are the only good ways that that's the only good way that I can think of to get extra sun tokens. Hopefully, I didn't ramble on too much and I managed to cut enough of this out that it doesn't take a million minutes. And hopefully, I'll see you guys around on the channel. See you all soon.